The WWE Draft 2024 is finally fucking over, and it was a huge, I won't say a waste of time, but it wasn't what any of us wanted, really, was it? It wasn't. The way they do it doesn't work when you've already got a brand split in place. When you don't have a brand split in place like 2002, 2016, and even last year, yes, you can do the picks like this with the GMs, not some random fucking legends, right? But they've done it like this. It is a disappointment, and the draft picks themselves are quite disappointing. So we'll get into that. But first, Braun Strowman has returned. I was expecting Braun Strowman to return with Bo Dallas and Alexa Bliss and whoever else is going to be in this Wyatt faction, and he has not, but I still believe he's going to join, and I say this because he's let his hair grow out, and he has a bald patch, and he's looking somewhat mountain manish, crazed mountain man. He's got that look about him. So even though he's back and he helped Jey Uso, right, I still think he's going to join the Wyatt 6, Wyatt 5, however many is going to be in the group, simply because he looks like a crazed mountain man. So Braun Strowman's back, that's great. And another thing I want to get into, Dominik Mysterio and Liv Morgan, please end this. This is a fucking joke. This is going to ruin Dom, right? I do not want Dom with Liv. I do not want Liv Morgan beating Nia Jax. I don't want Liv Morgan anywhere on my TV. Okay, she looks like Riho. I'm sick of it. You want to use Liv Morgan, put her on NXT, or use her as a jobber. Don't fucking ruin Dom by keeping him with Liv Morgan and her pathetic revenge tour. That's quite hilarious. So let's get into these draft picks and get this out the way, man, because I've got a busy day. I don't want to keep you too long. Yesterday's video was 20 minutes, and I don't want another 20-minute video. So, Imperium with Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser stay on Raw. Jade Cargill stays on SmackDown. CM Punk stays on Raw. The Street Profits and Bobby Lashley stay on SmackDown. As you can see, everyone's staying where they are so far. Apart from Damage Control, who moved to Raw. Don't really care. Kevin Owens stays on SmackDown. Braun Strowman stays on Raw. Tiffany Stratton stays on SmackDown. The LWO moved to Raw, including Carlito, who left the group last week. Yeah, it's weird. Why is Carlito there? Don't know. Legado del Fantasma stay on SmackDown. The Judgment Day stay on Raw. Naomi stays on SmackDown. Drew McIntyre stays on Raw. Shinsuke Nakamura moves to SmackDown. Ilya Dragunov drafted to Raw. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, they're still a team, apparently. Moved to SmackDown. The New Day stay on Raw. Pretty Deadly stay on SmackDown. The Final Testament, all of them moved to Raw. DIY moved to SmackDown. Lyra Valkyria, one of the stupidest names I've ever fucking heard, moves to Raw from NXT. Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, nearly forgot her name, moved to SmackDown. Bronson Reed stays on Raw. Blair Davenport moves to SmackDown from NXT. And Dijak moves to Raw. Finally, Dijak moves away from NXT. The man's getting on. He is in his late 30s. He shouldn't be on NXT anymore. He just shouldn't be on NXT. So that is all. Apart from Dijak, that is all the TV announcements, all the TV drafts. And now we're going to move to the drafts that happened off screen. Apollo Crews moves to SmackDown. Caden Carter and Katana Chance, I don't know which show they was on, but they're on Raw now. Natalia, I think she stays on Raw. I know she's been on NXT for a little bit, but I'm pretty sure she was Raw. The Creed brothers and Ivy Nile stay on Raw. The New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, move to Raw. Tegan Knox, don't know which show she was on, but she's on SmackDown. And finally, Giovanni Vinci moves to SmackDown. What are they going to do with Giovanni Vinci? Don't know. Hopefully they can do something with him, because he is the runt of the litter of Imperium. Now, again, obviously the draft has moved a few mid-carders, called up a few people from NXT, but it was not what we wanted. We need it to be changed up next year, okay? Either you do the draft lottery, or you do Raw versus SmackDown. Whoever wins matches gets the draft picks, because those two options are much better than what we got this year and last year, right? General managers need to have conflict during the draft, right? We need to see the locker rooms of Raw and SmackDown and even NXT reacting to being moved to a different show. Now, we did see some NXT reactions, but we don't get that locker room where everyone's wearing their Raw shirts or the SmackDown shirts. Hell, maybe they don't even need to wear the shirts. But we need to see a unit of locker rooms reacting when they are moved to different shows, right? We need to see conflict between Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, where it doesn't look like that they've planned all of this out before coming out and they've discussed it together, so they can just say, I picked this, goodbye. It's boring. It doesn't make any sense. And I said this at the live stream I did last week, and I'm going to say it again. I gave Triple H some leeway last year, because around this time, Vince McMahon was starting to worm his way back into creative, right? And this year, Vince McMahon's nowhere in creative, not even in the company, and it's the same as last year. So apparently last year's bullshit was down to Triple H, and this year's bullshit is down to Triple H, and I think it's stupid. It doesn't make any fucking sense. There's no conflict. Yeah, you see the war rooms, right? Don't care. I want to see Nick Aldis, Adam Pearce arguing. I want to see conflict. I want to see urgency. I want to see big names being moved. Okay, not everyone needs to move, obviously, because there'll be no point in the draft otherwise. But it just feels like a wasted opportunity, and hopefully next year's better, because this was shit. It was. Obviously, Raw was a good show. It's on its own. But the draft, it's not really a draft, is it? It's like a pretend draft. It's like when your friends, when you're playing with your friends when you're kids, and you're playing wrestling and you do a mock draft. That's what it was like. There was no creativity put into it, no thought put into it. They just did it for the sake of doing it, and I'm disappointed. But hopefully next year they actually do something that means something, so we can have a draft that we can look forward to year round, because that's what it used to be. My favourite part when I was a kid of the wrestling year was the draft. One of my favourite parts anyway. I used to look forward to the draft. Who's moving where? Oh my God. You know what I mean? But it isn't like that anymore. And it needs to be. For some urgency to be put in place, so people can get excited again for the draft. I was excited for the draft, but I had a feeling that they was going to do the same shit. When the rules came out, I knew for a fact that they was going to do the same shit. And from that point on, I had no expectations for this draft. And then when the draft happened on Friday, I was just pissed off and disappointed. I'm not as pissed off today, but I'm still disappointed. And I don't know what else to say. Please make the draft important again. Make the draft great again. Get that hashtag trending. Like, subscribe, follow me on X at @TheCrossman25. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.